tour, holiday album, and also my new webcast called Live from Daryl's House. That's coming out tomorrow, actually.
Well, Daryl Hall, look at you, man. You look good.
Well, thank you.
I like the beard.
Oh, you like the beard? Yeah, I just, I'm up in the woods, man. So it's my woodsman's look.
And the shirt.
So we were all speculating. How come the other cat isn't here? I mean, I know you're the guy with the talent, and you wrote all the songs.
Well, no, I knew you were going to say that. The other guy with the talent and who wrote Man Eater, Out of Touch, and She's Gone. Let's see, where is he? He's in the woods also in Colorado, though. So
is that do you live in the woods?
Yeah, I live up in Dutchess County.
Oh, you do, but you're not close with. I mean, when I say Hall and Oates, we think of like two brothers who, went through all
that would be correct.
Yeah.
Two brothers that live on opposite sides of the world.
But the fact of the matter is, you're not crazy about Oates personally, right? Is that true? Come on, be honest. I mean,
be honest? You want me to be honest?
Yeah, be honest.
Am I crazy about him? Well, he makes me crazy sometimes.
He makes you nuts.
But no, I like John, man. John and I have been friends since we're teenagers, man.
But you're not friends. I mean, you don't hang out together.
Well, we're more than friends. We're like brothers.
No, but wait a second. You do not.
Sometimes you're not friends with your brother.
Hall and Oates don't hang out together. Like you guys don't go to a bar together. You don't go and play video games together. You don't.
I don't do any of that stuff alone.
Do you call each other on the phone?
Not very often.
Really? So when it comes time to tour, when it comes time to do a new album or something musical, you pick up the phone and you call them and say, okay, it's time, but it's not awkward that you don't speak to each other other than that?
No, because we see each other all the time. We're working all the time.
But you don't like him. Because if you liked him, you would hang out with him, wouldn't you?
If he lived close to me, I'd hang out with him.
What irritates you?
He used to. What irritates
me? Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay, let's see. Nothing irritates me because I'm so used to him.
Do you ever have a non-work?
I'm beyond irritation.
Is there ever a non-work conversation? Like, do you ever say, "Hey,
how's your family?"
Well, basically, I see his family all the time because we travel together. And
he's married.
Yeah, he has a wife and a really cool kid, Tanner, and we travel together. I mean, in fact, we seldom have musical conversations. How's that?
How old were you when you met your partner?
16.
16 years old. You were in bands. You were both musical guys. The way I heard it is you were playing somewhere. He was playing in the same place. There was some sort of fight broke out, and you guys met each other in an elevator.
Yeah, actually, we were 17.
Right.
Yeah, we had just started. We were just finishing high school and starting Temple University. And he had a band and I had a band, and that's how we met.
And you said, we'll be a twosome. Let's go out. Let's go to some coffee houses. Let's play some places together.
Actually, no. We were friends because we both liked Philly soul. We were both in soul bands,
right.
And we started sharing rooms together when we were in college, and we didn't work together until after we got out of school.
Well, when you write, do you write together ever, or is it always separate?
Not so much anymore. We always did things separately. Our first thing was we said we're going to be two guys. We're going to share a stage. So from the very beginning, it was sort of two separate guys. But we write together occasionally, and we write separately a lot.
So you meet each other at 17. You say, let's form a band together. We'll call it Hall and Oates.
That was on the mailbox. So
was there ever a discussion that it would be Oates and Hall?
No, because my name was first on the mailbox.
I see. So it became Hall and Oates. That sounded good.
Yeah.
Sounded good to you.
Yeah, it sounded good to me.
That's right. And there comes a time where you have your first hit record. Was this amazing to you? Did it look like for a while nothing was ever going to happen with this band? Did you ever think of leaving him?
It went on. It went up and down for a long time before.
How long was that time before you had a success?
We first started playing together in like 1971 or 2, and let's see. Then we put out She's Gone. We wrote and put out She's Gone, and it wasn't really a hit. But then a group called Tavares had a hit with it, and it was like a #1 R&B record. And then we had Sarah Smile. That was our first hit.
I didn't understand this about you. Sarah was a woman that you lived with for 30 years.
Yeah.
I mean, you had a serious relation. Never married her.
Not officially, no.
You lived together, and you reference Sarah in your music a lot.
No kidding. I wrote tons of songs about her, with her. She co-wrote Man Eater and Out of Touch, and God, I can't even tell you how many songs.
So she co-wrote these songs. She still makes money from the Hall & Oates catalog.
Yeah, lots of money.
Yeah, and when you guys split up after 30 years, this had to be an emotional trauma. This is the woman you wrote Sarah Smile for.
How do you split up with that woman?
I know. It's not easy. In fact,
were you
You're asking me right now. That's 6 years ago, and I'm still splitting up, man.
Really? Huh?
She left you, or you left her?
It was mutual. It was
So that
just
means
one
you
of those
left
things. Yeah, well,
All
you
right.
know.
Yeah. So was it that the temptation of the road? I mean, you are certainly a good-looking dude.
It wasn't the temptation of the road. We went way past that stuff.
Did you cheat on her on the road when you were the height of Hall & Oates, and you guys are going around and you're doing live performances and the women are throwing themselves at you? Is it almost impossible not to bang someone else?
Yeah, the word is yes.
Yeah. So you had your sex outside.
So you guys
Absolutely.
worked through that, you're saying?
Yeah,
Yeah.
early on, from the very beginning.
So
you know.
what happened? Did Sarah just get older and you get I mean, listen, let's face it, you're around a lot of young, attractive women. There's no way you can remain interested.
It wasn't had nothing to do with older or any of that stuff. It had to do with just, hey man,
Life changes.
life changes. Life changes.
30 years is a long time.
It's a long time.
So where you used to write Sarah Smile, now when you sing the song, do you want to vomit? I mean, do you want to throw
No,
up and say?
I'm still singing it to her.
Do you still wonder why you were in love with her in the first place? Have you you haven't lost that love?
No,
and feeling?
I have no questions about why I was in love with her.
Has Sarah hooked up with another guy at this point?
You know what? I think so, but I'm
You
not
do.
sure.
You don't know. You don't want to know. Do you speak to?
Oh no, I don't.
You
Yeah,
really
I do
do
actually.
speak to her.
Well, we have our ups and downs, but right now I'm not really talking to her much. But we go between really friendly to not friendly at all.
Let me ask you something. Is there another woman in your life now?
What, are
Well-
you kidding? You probably didn't miss a day. Guy like this, rock star, give me a break.
I'm in. I just say I'm in transition right now.
You're in transition.
You have a girlfriend, don't you?
No, actually, I don't.
You don't?
I had one for 7 years, but
Is it hard to be alone?
I got used to it.
When you live up in this
Isolated.
isolated area by yourself?
I got my people. You know, I have a extended family. My sister and everybody lives near me. And
Near you, but you live in the house by yourself.
right now, yeah.
Like a farm kind of community.
Uh-huh.
And you sit there by yourself and you don't get lonely.
Nope.
You're able to do it.
He's got mountains of books.
Do you kill animals and eat them? Do you do the whole thing?
Well, since I got Lyme's disease, I sort of stopped doing that. But I was a major hunter.
you had
Yeah?
Lyme's disease.
I have Lyme disease.
How did you get it?
Living in the country, the way everybody gets
You were
it.
out hunting and a tick
Well,
got
you
on
don't have to be hunting. You can walk in your front yard. You can be in a suburban neighborhood and get Lyme's disease. It's one of the biggest.
How bad
problems
is
in
it
the
to have
country.
Lyme's disease?
Bad. It's bad. Well, it can run the gamut of mildly debilitating to severely debilitating.
I worry about that where I am. There's
You
all
should.
these ticks and all that
You
kind
should
of
worry
stuff. I
about
do. I always check myself every
got
night.
to.
I look. But why didn't you move away from this area where there's so many ticks once you got this disease?
Well, because I like living in that part of the world. I like living in nature.
You used to go hunting, used to do all that stuff, and now you're a little bit paranoid about doing that.
Well, I don't like to spend that much time in the deep woods anymore.
Because of the ticks.
Yeah.
These fucking ticks.
I know.
They
It's a pain in the
ruined
ass.
your woods experience.
They really did. You know, I used to like to, I got a lot of land. I used to four-wheel around, take walks in the woods. Fuck that now. You know, you have
What
to
do you do? You
just-
sit in the house and you're hiding from the ticks.
Well, I had to put up a deer fence at great expense, and, I got to check myself all the
The
time.
ticks won.
The ticks did win
did
right
you
now.
find the actual tick that landed on you?
No,
You
I
never
didn't.
did.
Never
you never
did.
saw. How were you
Is it
diagnosed?
still in there?
I assume you had sore throats, you had
Oh,
fevers.
I had all kinds of tremors and fevers, and they thought I had spinal meningitis and multiple sclerosis and all this
How long
kind of
ago
stuff.
was this?
3 years ago.
3 years ago.
Yeah, I'm just getting over it now.
What, they treat you with antibiotics?
Yeah, heavy antibiotics and herbal things.
Wow. And you now feel better.
Every once in a while I have a kind of a weird day, but yeah, 99.9% of the time I'm fine.
Are you able to exercise? Are you able to get back
yeah.
into a routine?
Yeah, all that. Yeah, that's all working.
He's so right. Daryl Hall is so right about these ticks.
Oh no,
Never mind the terrorists. War on ticks.
Well,
I'm not.
wouldn't you
That's
have to
no
get
shit.
rid of
I'm
the
telling you.
deer?
How can we get
Because
rid
that's-
it's the. Well, first of all, kill all the fucking deer.
Really?
That's what I
War
said.
on
We'd have to
deer.
get rid of
War
the
on
deer.
Yeah.
Kill the fucking deer.
Does your penis get affected?
You wanna get-
Monhegan, let me tell you a story. Monhegan Island in Maine had a major tick problem, and what they did, it was very controversial among the citizens, and they killed all the fucking deer, and
always
the
thought he was
Lyme's
a
disease
piece
went
of
away.
guy.
It did, huh?
Yes.
Wow.
But I
The
was
fucking rats, man. You know, in the Middle Ages, would anybody said no? They're pretty, man. Those rats, so they carry bubonic plague.
Kill 'em.
Fuck them.
Right.
Fuck the ticks.
You know, you're making me think. You know,
But
I
wait a
love to
minute,
look at
Howard.
deer. I think they're beautiful and all that. And
They're fucking giant rats. 180-pound rats.
Wow.
This is the guy guy who wrote Sarah Smile?
Yeah. Gee, I thought you were a peacenik.
He didn't write anything about a deer.
I see you on the We Are the World video. Wasn't that you?
That's people, man. That's not fucking deer.
And if people
Thousands of ticks per deer, right?
Yeah, you know, every tick has like 2,000-3,000 ticks on it.
Every deer has.
Every deer, and they all have Lyme's disease.
Ay
They're
vey.
walking
monsters.
plague things.
So let's get rid of them.
Yes,
you know,
I
this is what
agree.
I say about sharks, too. People talk about our oceans. People are afraid to surf. We love the ocean. Kill all the sharks, too. Right? Come on, let's go.
Well,
what are we sitting here for?
If
Either that
millions
or
of
kill all
people
the surfers.
got eaten by sharks, I'd agree. But millions of
Absolutely.
people are getting bit by ticks. So there you go.
All right, you're with me on the deer
I
thing.
didn't
That's
know
good.
we'd have
I'm
the
with you.
anti-deer movement.
Wow. So when we
Kill the rabbits too. Fuck them too.
you're angry today.
Sure, I'm always angry.
Fucking rabbits and deer. So they've really so now you're feeling better though. That's
You think I'm joking, by the way?
Oh,
I'm
I
not
don't think
joking.
you're joking.
We get it.
brother. I'm right with you.
Okay.
I'll
listen
kill
here.
a couple of deer.
You know,
with
when I
this
was a kid,
afternoon.
I lived in the country, and it was an unusual experience to see a deer because the deer population wasn't allowed to grow because it
was controlled.
It was controlled.
Yeah.
And now they're everywhere. They're fucking people up. People crash into them with cars.
Right.
They're really a major menace.
That's what it was like with blacks in my neighborhood.
Hey.
No, I ain't going there, man.
Hey, what's with you, Artie? What's going on? We're having a perfectly reasonable conversation.
Artie wants to take it to another level.
Yeah,
No,
man,
I'm
that's
staying.
your problem.
Take it down to another
I'm
level.
against it. I'm stating a fact. It was terrible.
But you know what? You make a very good point about this. This Lyme disease is so debilitating. I knew a guy. Remember, we had a general manager got
People
Rocky.
die from it, man.
People
He
die
had
from
the
it.
Rocky Mountain spotted fever.
Right.
That's
didn't he?
only one of the many diseases you can get from ticks.
And you were lucky that you survived because what if they
Yes,
didn't
I was.
diagnose it?
I'm lucky I can work, first of all, because I didn't think I'd be able to work. And I'm lucky I survived because I know people that have been so sick that they thought they were going to die.
Were you in the hospital?
I was in the hospital. I was on intravenous stuff. The whole bit, man.
Wow.
I mean, it's nasty.
It sure
Yeah,
is.
it's bad.
It
All
sure
right,
is.
you know what? I hate deer now.
Me too.
There you go.
I used to love them.
We might ask you to cut some public service announcements about killing the deer because some people don't understand.
That's right.
Give me a machine gun, man.
You got it. So why are you not getting the respect from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? I wanted to ask you that. I want to talk about that for a second.
Sure,
You
let's
have
talk
written.
about that.
How many hit songs have you written? I mean,
Oh God, I don't even fucking know.
how many albums have you sold?
Something like 60 million. Again, I lost track. Something like that.
60 million albums is an
What are
amazing
you
accomplishment.
supposed to do?
Why is it a?
What am I
Yes,
supposed to
Gary.
do?
I can give you a number: 37 top 40 hits, 8 number ones, and I don't know what the album sales are, but a lot of hits. How many?
I think it's something like 60
70 million records.
Well, I'll give you a hint here.
10 million off.
You recently sold off half of your catalog to a publishing company, right?
Yeah.
And that brought in an estimated $25 to $50 million to Hall & Oates.
Correct.
Wow. Well, you're not hurting for cash, are you?
Yeah, but what about the Hall of Fame? What is this disrespect?
You know, all these awards, whether the Grammys or Hall of Fames or whatever, they're all political. I mean, that's no big news, and that's. I mean, what else can I say about it? It's politics.
But when you say
It's
it's
politics.
Who did you
politics,
piss off?
It's the fucking voters. It's the people that are involved in voting. Okay, let me tell you what it is.
all right, who are the voters?
Kill the voters.
In the 70s and the 80s, the rock press and the rock, whatever you want to call it, the media, created a canon. They created what is hip, what is not hip, what is deserving of respect, and what is not.
Right.
And those things are if you tried to be Woody Guthrie or you tried to be Howlin' Wolf or whatever, you were cool.
Right.
And if you hung out with the Spinners and you hung out with Al Green, you were sort of suspect, especially if you were a white guy.
Right.
And nobody gave a shit about that. Me and John have always fallen between the cracks.
Well, you and John have
And in order to, let me finish, in order for them to justify themselves and what they wrote about, like that the Ramones were the greatest band in history and bullshit like that,
Right.
then they have to disrespect me in order to
Give that
justify their own shit.
Right. In other
So
words,
that's why I'm not in the Rock and Roll fucking Hall of Fame.
if you write pop songs, in other words, if you write songs that have tremendous appeal,
Popular appeal.
popular appeal,
And also, musical impact. Let's not forget that. It's not
I mean,
just
you're a
popular
real
appeal.
musician. I mean, you've written huge hit songs.
But
And-
Howard, the people he's talking about, they're in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
I know.
Al Green and Howlin'
Well,
Wolf.
there's a little bit of reverse racism going on.
They
too.
allow those guys in a little bit because they don't want to look like it's just whitey.
Well, they call me Blue-Eyed Soul. That's fucking insulting. First of all,
Why is that insulting?
because I'm a soul singer. That's like saying what, brown-eyed opera singer if
Right.
you're black.
Right. Right.
Fuck that.
So you're bitter about it?
Yeah,
I
I'm bitter
swear to
about
God,
that.
I never knew he was such an angry guy.
I love him.
I am bitter about it. I'm bitter about it.
But I don't blame you. In other words, I think it's funny in radio that I am not. There's something called the Radio Hall of Fame. It's a bullshit thing, and I don't really care about it. But how can you have a Radio Hall of Fame and not have me in it?
Not have you anywhere near
They don't
it.
even mention my name. Who's bigger than me? Let's kill some deer.
Basically nobody. Yeah, kill some
Who are the fucking voters?
All I know is when you said you just got $25 to $50 million, T-Bone's eyes were almost rolled back into his head.
You could keep the Hall of Fame. The Spinners ain't got that.
That's right. What are you
No,
doing
they
with all
don't.
this money that you're getting?
Wasted on building houses.
Are you building a lot of homes?
Yeah, I restore colonial houses.
That's your thing.
Yeah.
Well, who are you going to sell them to now?
Who am I going to sell them to? Yeah, I have to figure out who I'm. Yeah, I'm in the midst of finishing one big one right now.
Yeah.
They'll be foreigners.
Yeah.
There'll be somebody to buy that, that's for sure.
People that like colonial houses.
So the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, the Grammys have ignored you as well.
That's right.
That's crazy.
shocking.
I
It's
didn't
all
know they
part of the
never-
same package of
Why
prejudice.
is everyone against you?
I told you why. Because it justifies their past.
But do you think
You're
things
depressing
have
me.
changed to a certain extent with the validation of Justin Timberlake? And
Of course. No,
Eminem
we're talking about the past. We're talking
Right.
about actually our generation, right? Of rock writers. The new generation,
yeah.
they respect the shit out of Hall & Oates.
There's something
and, all
weird
the
going
new
on.
bands love us.
But Hall &
so
Oates-
we've transcended the generational thing.
But Hall & Oates never was the type of band that's got up on stage and did dances to their songs and all that. You
That
guys were
wasn't the
serious
point.
musicians. Well, I want to ask you a question. You guys were serious musicians. Nowadays, you mentioned Justin Timberlake. It seems like Justin Timberlake's got to get up on stage and dance and jump through
I
hoops.
think-
It's almost like a carnival.
I think the video is what caused that to happen.
Videos ruin music?
Video room music.
Why?
Because people, if it's a fight between the eye and the ear, the eye always wins.
Right. So the eye became more important than the ear. You have to be good looking there. You have to wear the right clothes.
Yeah.
You have to have the whole image and all of that. And you have to be able to dance.
Yeah, basically.
Is it sicken you? Is the music industry dead?
Yes.
Is it because of the economics of it that people aren't buying CDs and records
It's
anymore?
because the record companies shot themselves in the foot. It's because they ate themselves.
Where did they go wrong? How could they have predicted that the technology would change and people wouldn't buy CDs?
I don't think it was just the
They,
technology.
they went wrong in so many ways.
Well, how many-
They
give
backed
me-
the wrong horses in a lot of ways. They ruined their own music. They backed video. It was bean counters over art. You know, when John and I started out, we were Atlantic Records. They gave us. They said, okay, go make a record. And by the way, here's a Reef Martin to help you. That doesn't happen anymore. It's like you do what we tell you to do, and if you don't do it, or if we get tired of you, then you're gone.
There's no artistic freedom, is what you're saying.
None.
Really?
Not in major labels.
This is very depressing.
It is, but if you're in Blue Note Records or Rounder Records, or do what I did early on and form your own record company, then you have freedom.
I was going to say, do you like this movement now where like bands like Radiohead are putting out their own albums?
Well, I don't like what Radiohead did because they devalued their own music. But I like the idea. I mean, I'm doing this thing live from Daryl's house. I'm starting tomorrow, actually.
Yeah, we should mention this now.
Yeah. And it's one of the first, certainly the first of its kind of internet concerts.
What is live from darylshouse.com?
It's a monthly live concert. It's actually not live. I've already done the concert, but it's going to be debuted tomorrow at 8 o'clock, and then shown subsequently in part and in full anytime you want to download it.
So when you say you live in this house by yourself now, you're telling me you haven't gotten laid in a couple of months?
What do you think I don't have visitors?
People come and visit you and they bang you and then you
Yeah,
don't leave.
I'm not the hermit of the woods,
Right.
I mean,
Where do you primarily meet women? Let's say a woman.
Are you on
Match?
Match.com?
Yeah. Well, like, how does a woman get to meet you? Does she go to your show?
Like church, libraries.
Well, the last woman you had sex with, where did you meet her? I mean,
where did I meet
women
her?
like to know. And what's your age range, by the way? What are you dating? How old's the broad you date?
I'm flexible.
Right.
I'm flexible.
Would you date a woman as old as 35?
Fuck yeah.
You would. You wouldn't
course.
go as old as 40, though.
Are you kidding me?
You've dated cougars?
Cougars?
Are you telling me you've dated older than 40? Get out of here.
I am no ageist, man.
What is the youngest you'll have sex with? Will you go below 18?
Oh.
No.
You'll go to 18, though, right? You'll go
Absolutely.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Oh, you don't have that problem, huh?
I have no problem.
So the last woman you met, let's say there are women in my audience listening right now who want to meet a guy like you, successful, singer, I mean, good-looking dude. How does a woman go about it? Where did this woman meet you that you had sex with?
Yeah, it's hard, actually. actually to meet me because
you're up in this tick-infested area.
I live in small towns. I travel all the time. I'm nowhere really. I'm everywhere and nowhere. And then when I'm on the road, which is a lot, it's hard to get to me, and not by my
design.
Well, the last
Design,
lady.
exactly.
Where'd you meet this lady? The last one you visited?
Probably backstage.
Backstage.
Yeah, somebody like a meet and greet or something like
Right.
that.
And you said, "Hey, you're attractive. How you doing, honey? What's happening? Let's go have a bite to eat."
That's the short version.
And then you just say, "I'm going to take you back to my tick-infested house, and let's go
There
see
you
if
go.
we can't."
You can't
Let the
go
tick suck on your body, baby.
That's right, man. Let's me and the ticks are going to get a hold of you.
They need to do a meet and greet before the show. They need to buy a VIP package and do a meet and greet.
Oh.
So basically, it costs you $500 to meet me. I'm the biggest whore in the world,
You
man.
are. I mean, it's impressive.
$500, man, no problem.
Go ahead. Go
It's
ahead.
available.
Now, back in the day, were you one of the bands that got like caught up in drugs and all that kind of stuff?
No,
You didn't. You didn't do any pot.
I got a weird nervous system. Pot, yeah, sure, I smoke
Pot,
a lot
you
of pot.
smoke a lot of
but I never really used, like, I didn't do a lot of cocaine or anything like that.
So you didn't get caught up in that whole
No,
thing.
not at all.
And you basically lived a pretty straight lifestyle, and you were all about the music. Sounds interesting.
Well, how do you?
Well, I wouldn't call it a straight
one
lifestyle.
question.
Well, let me ask you something. Talk about that. Straight. Didn't people for years think you guys were gay, like you were lovers?
Yeah, well, yeah, because like a lot of people in the early '70s, we were doing the whole glam rock thing. You know,
Right,
I mean,
with
did
the
anybody think
eyeshadow
Gene
and all
Simmons
that.
is gay? Jesus Christ,
Who knows?
Maybe he is. I don't know, man. But yeah, that went down, and then we had some fag from Rolling Stone that
Oh, jeez. How much more are we going to learn today?
that decided he was going to out us because he made his bones outing Elton John. So
Right.
he basically outed us when we weren't out. You know.
You've never had sex.
You weren't in.
And I used that word, by the way, in a very respectful
Daryl,
way.
you and John never had sex together. You never participated.
We had sex together, but not with each other.
In the same room, you would have
Yeah.
sex with women.
Yeah, no problem.
Did you ever share a woman?
Maybe. I can't remember, to tell you
That's
the
a
truth.
once. Who
Yeah.
had the bigger penis? I mean, I imagine,
Well, I haven't actually noticed.
you notice when you're in the same room with a guy and he's got a boner and you're both doing the same girl. You absolutely notice.
Well, we always
Come
say
on.
that John is German Shepherd balls with Chihuahua pants.
Ah, interesting. I'm going to have to analyze that.
You have video of you high-fiving Oates while you're double teaming a chick?
No, we didn't
So
go that far.
When a guy outs you, a journalist,
Yeah.
what do you do? Do you fight back or you just say, screw it? I mean, what do you do?
Well, it's kind of hard to fight back. I mean, that's the whole problem with has been or was a problem with me and the media. You can't fight the media.
You can't sue.
They always have the last word. What are you going to say?
You could sue and say, hey, listen, you've disparaged me. You've said I'm gay. I'm a straight man.
Yeah, that sounds malicious to me.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird thing to sue for. I don't know.
Yeah, it is, because you're almost saying you don't like gay people.
Yeah,
almost.
exactly.
Right,
It's I mean, it's actually what they did to us is an insult to gay people. Really.
right.
That's
right.
why I feel.
That's right.
I have one question, and every guy out there probably wants to know, how do you work through cheating on your wife?
What?
You know,
Oh,
he said
you're
they
back to
worked
that
through
thing
it.
again. No.
He
Well,
cheated on the road,
if
and then
you're
he'd
with-
go home to Sarah.
So what? Sarah can handle it.
No, how did she handle
because she's
that?
an extraordinary person. That's how.
Did she give you license like you're single on the road?
It was
or?
nothing as simple as license, but people do this all the time, and not just with musicians and people on the road. I think that there's a pact with people that are together a long time, and they allow for each other's personalities to bear fruit.
Let me
So
interpret.
did she ever
No.
sleep outside of the relationship?
I never asked.
Oh.
What you do is, if you want to
Yeah.
have a woman, a good woman like Sarah, and you want to cheat, you write Sarah smile for her. Then she shuts up. That's all.
Actually,
In a way, it works. You know, it's so funny to see you dressed the way you are today and the way you look. I think it's a great look for you. It's very natural. And this is the way you're more comfortable.
well, this is the real me. Yeah.
When you had to do the glam thing, I mean, not that you had to.
That was a long time ago, man.
Because you're not really a pretty boy kind of type, but I always thought you were because you always dressed up.
I was
Now-
pretty when I was young, man.
but when you perform now, do you dress more like this?
Yeah,
More
this is
like
pretty
a-
much the way I dress.
And when you, how old were you when you started to realize, man, I can really sing. I like music.
0. My mom was a singer in a band and a vocal teacher and all that stuff. I mean, at 2, 3 years old, I was singing.
And when do you realize you want to play guitar and sing? in a
Well,
band?
guitar came late. I started piano when I was 5, but I didn't start guitar until I grew up.
And when you're a kid and you sing, Is it embarrassing in a way? Do people make fun of you? Do the other boys say, what's with you going around singing? What are you, a fruit?
Yeah,
And they
exactly.
do. Right.
Especially when you're like 12. And I was a boy soprano,
I was
you
gonna
know,
say,
and I was in
you have a
7th grade.
falsetto, yeah.
You know,
It's hard to be artistic, isn't it, as a young
well,
child?
I remember that, you know, I had to sing. Actually, I sang on the Christmas album. I did "Oh Holy Night,"
Yeah.
right, and that's a real boy soprano kind of song.
Right.
And I did it, and my teachers made me sing this in front of the whole school in 7th grade, and I'm singing the song, and afterward, the cafeteria was no fun. Let me tell you.
Right, you seem like a guy who can kick ass. You look like a tough guy.
Yeah, you look like a tough guy.
Right.
I've been there.
Did you have to fight a lot as a kid because you sang?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
You would get into fist fights?
Yeah. People. I was, besides singing, I was just an unusual person in my area.
Why do you think you were attracted to black musicians more than?
I grew up in a racially integrated place. You know,
Right.
you grow up around Philadelphia, especially in my day when I grew up. It's very integrated. You
so
know?
there was more Motown there than
It was the sound of Philly. It was the neighborhood stuff, not Motown. It was beyond, you know, before.
But I'm saying you get
beyond
exposed to Motown and all that other stuff too.
Well,
and of course, the
like I said,
Philadelphia
before
stuff.
Motown.
Right.
I mean, I do, you know, street corner music and you know, doo-wop music, gospel music, soul music, church music, all that stuff is that's my baby food.
Well, you're a cool dude. T-Bone, you know I love you.
I love you, Howard.
Yeah. Did you ever actually beat up Oates? Did you ever have to kick his ass? I mean, did you ever have a fist
You know
fight
something?
with him?
I'd have a hard time. He was a wrestler. Do you know that?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, John could kick ass, man.
Really?
Yeah.
So, I mean, mano a mano would be a tough fight.
He wrote that song, by the way.
Yes.
It would be an interesting fight. I got the reach, but he's got the grappling power.
Let's go to Sal. Sal, you're on the air in Lodi, New Jersey.
Hey now.
Hey now.
I'll tell you what, when I heard that Daryl was going to be on this morning, I really didn't think much of it, but boy, he turned out to be a real entertaining guest.
Yes.
You didn't think much of me. Fuck you.
Yeah. The hell with him.
This guy's a deer.
Yeah.
There you go. Hey, that's my new thing. Yeah.
Well, I guess
What,
you won a
fucking
new fan just from this
Well, thank
interview.
you, sir.
That's good. All right, thank you. I tell you what, let me play a little bit of this
You
song.
know what? The one thing we haven't asked is where the music comes from. Like when you sit down to write a song, is it easy? Is it hard? Does it take you a long time?
Are you one of those guys who say it comes from God?
No.
You're not you came from you, right?
Yeah, came from straight from my life.
Was your father upset that you became a musician?
No, they're both musicians.
So they like it?
They push me, yeah.
And were they thrilled with your success? Did they get to see your success?
And still are, yeah.
They're still alive.
Yeah.
And you have a
But-
good relationship with
Yeah,
them.
absolutely.
Are you a craftsman with the music, or do
Yeah.
you work at it, or it's not streaming through you? It just doesn't come out.
Both.
It does?
I'm a spontaneous person, but then I've been doing it so long, I'm into the craft of it also. But you know, when I do a vocal, what you hear on the vocals is pretty much what I did first take and things like that. I mean,
okay.
T-Bone's there all the time. He knows.
Right.
You know, especially the end of the song, all the ad libs and everything. That just comes out of my head.
And I want to thank you for coming in today.
Thanks
it was
for having
really
me,
great
man.
to have you here. Daryl Hall, everyone.
Daryl, what'd you think now that you've met Howard and you've been in there, you mixed it up?
I love this, man. I get to say my shit. You know, this is fantastic.
It seems like you really wanted to understand what goes into writing a song and
Yeah.
your mindset and your upbringing and everything.
No, it was good. It was good. This was actually a really cool interview.
It's got to be different when you compare it to all the interviews you've done over the years. This has got to be one of the more unique.
Yeah, no pussyfooting.
No, definitely not. He went right for it with asking about Sarah. And
Sure.
What do you think she's gonna? How do you think she's gonna react to hearing? You know,
She'll have mixed reactions, but that's our relationship. Mixed reactions.
got to keep it open and say what you really mean. But that was a really good interview.
Thank you.
And good luck with your holiday album and the holiday show.